So this one was started with Velveteen Dream. We haven't seen him for a while, apart from a few vignettes, maybe on Twitter or just at different times during NXT in previous weeks. But he came out and revealed his plans that he wants to take the North American title. He was then interrupted with the Undisputed Era, mainly just Cole and Bobby Fish. They're obviously spouting out that they're going to take every title that can be possibly held by all four members. And they tried to get over Velveteen Dream and kind of beat him up, but he ran off. But then they had a match later, so it's all good.
A lovely skin-tight shirt on as well.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I love the Dream. I'm a huge fan of the Dream. I said it on the stream the other day. I mean, I think he's so good.
Yeah, he was when we did our like end of year kind of podcast. We kind of did a list of wrestlers who we didn't like at the start of the year and who we like now. And I was not a fan. These guys will know. I just said every week, I don't get Velveteen Dream. I don't understand him. I don't quite get what he's about. I don't really understand how well he's being booked as if he's really good. I don't get it. And then now I'm just like, yeah,
I think
he's
Vince
good.
will ruin him. I think if he goes to the main roster, I think Vince will ruin him.
That's my biggest fear. That is my biggest fear. My biggest fear.
I read that Vince is really keen on him.
Yeah.
Like, Vince,
I really. I thought the whole character. I thought Vince would be against.
He's got too much charisma to be ruined.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't do that.
It's not a No Way Jose sort of character. He's got an actual in-depth character that really works, and I actually think he's going to be in the Rumble.
That's what I think.
100%.
I
think all the tweets are for the Rumble.
Yeah, I like that. I like that H hasn't pushed him too much. He ain't getting right. Here's the NXT title. He's not rushing him. He's 22, 23. He's still young.
Yeah.
He's still very, very young. And my fear was they were going to either move him up too early or rush him too quick, and they're not doing that, which I really, really like.
Yeah, I think because he's come from Tough Enough, they kind of are being quite careful with him. I think because when you're in Tough Enough, it's a very different environment to actually being on TV fully as a wrestler.
Yeah.
I think Sonya and Mandy were on that, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they've kind of been pushed a little too hard into the main roster, and it's kind of not paying
It's not
off.
to any fault of their own, because obviously they got brought up with Paige to be in that group, and then what happened with Paige was just
Awful.
That happens, and they've kind of like, okay, we're kind of in the lurch now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if that thing with Paige was still going on, they'd probably be absolute stars now, both of them. But things happen.
I don't think people realise though how scary it is that Dream's only 23.
It's insane. He's got 20 years. He's got 20 years at least.
So much time.
You got to think about what NXT have got. Like Dream's 23, Tyler Bates 22, Pete Dunne's not too older than that either, and it's just like
even Adam Cole's not that old.
How old is Adam Cole? Adam Cole, how old is he?
Late 20s, early 30s at most.
These guys have still got like 10, 15 years, 20 years to go, and it's just like they're already main eventers kind of.
Exactly, which is why they don't need to. They don't even really need to bring them up.
Yeah,
they don't need to. Yeah.
Yeah. 20.
I mean, I'll bet you that they still sell merch like motherfuckers. I mean, I reckon the one out of it, all of that sort of main event lot in NXT, the one that I reckon they're going to get behind the most is Ricochet. Honestly.
I think Gargano would be up after me.
I mean, Gargano's going to get the Gargano. To me, would be more Daniel Bryan-esque, but to me, I honestly think they would really get behind Ricochet. He's getting better on the mic every week. He is incredible in the ring, and he is a marketing machine. I just think he could be amazing as a main eventer.
That's literally it, because like he's got the look, like he's a good looking person, like he's not ugly, he's got the body, he's got the in-ring ability, the mic skills are getting there, but like you give him time, you give him at least another year and he'll be ready for main roster, and you give him a year on the main roster, after that he'll be ready for Universal Championship.
Oh yeah, he's got that. So he's got the in-ring stuff. I mean, not necessarily on the mic as much, but in the ring, he's got the sort of confidence levels of someone like The Rock or someone like that, in the way that he's confident that he knows what he's doing, and it's just
he's just that good.
Yes,
he knows he's good, but he doesn't let it get to his head, and he's got a bit of charisma about him as well, which perfect.
And honestly, he's very funny as well.
Yeah, if it were me though, personally, I'd be building the whole Raw roster around Adam Cole, but that's just me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that Undisputed Era, the call up will happen. I think the Undisputed Era will get called up this year at some point. I don't want it to happen, but I think
they need to do it. They need to put their stamp on the main roster in a way which is Nexus levels.
Yes, it would have to be Nexus-esque,
because you can't just have, hey, here's the Undisputed Era.
I don't want it to be Nexus. I don't want it to be Nexus-esque because we all know how that ended. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
What we need to do is
invasion. I guess they fucked that up.
What I think what they need to do is if you guys earlier that were saying, you know, Vince is going to go when the XFL goes and he's going to give it over to Triple H. If that happens, that's when you bring them up. Otherwise, you leave them to run an absolute mock in NXT until such time as Vince decides to stop. So if Vince isn't going when the XFL starts, do not bring them up because he will ruin it.
Can't wait forever though.
That's what I'm going to get to. I mean, there's only so long. Your stock's going to rise for so long.
NXT is becoming its own brand at this point. NXT is already their best brand by 1,000%. Extend the show to 2 hours. Leave it recorded, but extend it to 2 hours.
Which is going to happen because they've been rumored to go on Fox. But
yeah.
That's huge.
Leave it recorded rather than having it like this.
Live,
but do not let Vince McMahon touch it in any way. Leave it as it is. It's got good writers. It's got a good person behind it, and you could build that to be its own separate brand. And you could have the Undisputed Era as the absolute main attraction of that. You can let Ciampa go up to the main roster eventually. You can let Gargano go up, but you need to have something like the Undisputed Era where you can have people take them down and rip them to shreds, but they'll always get back together and they'll always be stronger eventually, and they'll always be there. It's just
so you want them to be valiant baby faces in a way.
Well, they already are. I don't care what everybody says.
Crowd reactions, babyface, but not.
Sorry,
not them.
I could see them being like Evolution were, sort of late 2000s, sort of Evolution, Batista, Orton, Trips, Flair-esque sort of group in that in the way that they absolutely dominate everything.
They remind me personally. They remind me of. Well, they don't remind me. They are, in my opinion, everything the NWO should have been, and how they should have been. But they were in their time. They done okay, but it was more of like, we've come into the business just because we care about the money, and we just.
The problem was the NWO were booking the NWO, so that was the main problem behind that.
But like with these,
I like to do.
But then the mad ways, you could have Triple H come out with them in a suit and have like a, I don't know, or have like an Undisputed Era t-shirt on and have it as though that he's part of Undisputed Era, therefore they are sort of like the equivalent of NWO in effect.
I do agree with what Matt said. I think you just need to leave him down there. And as I said, the reports today came out, and it was from Triple H's mouth himself. He said two things actually. One, he said that they are actually keeping an eye on AEW. He said that with his mouth. And two, he said that they asked him if they're going to go on Fox, and he said it's possible. And to me, that's huge because that instantly makes NXT no longer what people kind of see them as a developmental brand. It then makes them a brand, like a self, like they are NXT. There's Raw. There's
Triple H has always come out and said that though.
He said that.
Every time that you watch, and it annoys me because Kenny McIntosh, who does Inside the Ropes, and asks this question every time he has an interview with Triple H. He's always like talking about NXT, and that he always says about talent moving up to the main roster, and Triple H always comes back and says, No, they might move, but again, they're still on their own. Like, it's their own little brand.
It's not moving up; it's moving across to a different brand.
It's that kind of thing. And giving them a TV deal with Fox or whatever it is, that'd just give more eyes to it.
Honestly, I think it gives them credibility.